Hello there. This project is to insulate the sides and plastic roof of a conservatory that's been added onto the back of the house. This building is wooden clad, so it's not brick built. It's got a plastic conservatory roof, and we want to insulate it because we're having the plastic see-through roof. It is Baltic in the winter and then gets quite hot in the summer, so particularly in the winter we want to insulate it so it can be used more as an office without having to put layers of gloves and balaclavas on. So what have we got here? So what we've got here is a box of 20 polystyrene sheets. Those polystyrene sheets are 1 meter by ½ meter and they're 25mm thick. That box costs no more than £40. We've got PVA glue here, we've got kiln drying sand, and we've got 2 polystyrene sheets out, so we're ready to prime. So we're going to prime it with the glue, and that will seal the polystyrene. These polystyrene sheets are on the outside of the building, so they need to be weatherproofed. So they're going to be sealed with glue. Before the glue dries, going to cover it with kiln drying sand, and what that kiln dried sand will do is effectively waterproof the polystyrene sheets, and then we'll fix them onto the side of the building. I tend to water down the PVA glue. It doesn't need to be the full thickness. I'm a bit of a cheapskate, but obviously I want the job to be done. So we'll come back in the next section of the video and show you how we seal it and put the kiln drying sand on. So this doesn't have to cost a fortune. All in, we've got £40 for the 20 polystyrene sheets. We only really need 17. PVA glue, you're talking £10. Kiln drying sand, it should just be 1 bag, that's less than £10. So we're talking £60 all in, and effectively you've got to add the value to make a system by putting all the parts together, so you've got to do work. Hi there. To show the building structure that we're going to insulate with the polystyrene panels that are weatherproof with kiln dried sand. This structure is approximately 10 metre squared area, so it's extremely useful inside as an office, but we want to insulate it so it's fit to use during the winter. It's got a plastic conservatory roof which has already been insulated with the polystyrene sheets. And what we're doing with this south facing wall is we are going to, which is about 2.7 metres long, is we're going to insulate it with the polystyrene panels. We need about 17 in total, and we're going to batten it with wood, and then we'll paint over the top with the masonry paint, because this flat roof area to the left hand side, we're going to masonry paint the outside wall to upgrade it as well. What's been done already is we've already got 2 panels that have been glued to the structure just to keep them in place, and we'll batten them, but we can see the kiln dry sand on them, and they've been glued to the structure, so they will be mechanically fixed because that is the most reliable way to do it. But for the moment, to keep them in place, we've glued them on. No more nail stuff. That is quite effective, but I was just concerned about the long term of it, so we're going to mechanically fix them as well. Okay, to finish off the first part of the video series about insulating a building in a cost-effective manner, then what we've got here is I've already done these 3 polystyrene panels here. So what I've done is I've got the PVA glue here. I'll brush the PVA glue onto these 3 panels, and then with the colander I'll shake the kiln dry sand onto the panels, and I'm going to leave them for 15 minutes or so before I move them, and then I would give it 24 hours to let them completely dry. The PVA glue will seal the polystyrene and make it weatherproof to some extent. However, once you put the kiln dry sand on there, the surface is rock hard and it will last for decades against the UV, against the rain, against the wind, anything the elements can throw on it. And that's why we put the kiln sand on. Kiln sand, why is it kiln sand? It is because it has no moisture content, and when you throw it onto the glue, it will stick to it. So let's go and brush the PVA glue onto the panels, or onto this panel, the last one before we do it. So we just brush it on. You want an even coating, you want all the bits coated as much as you possibly can. Obviously the glue is white, so it's difficult to see any patches, but you can always top them up at the end. So I water down the glue to make it cost effective, but also it makes it easier to apply as well. It's just a bit more runny and makes it easier to go on. So apply an even coating. This panel unfortunately is a bit chipped, but it doesn't really matter. Once it all goes on together, we can fill in any gaps. So we want to make sure we've got an even coating as much as we possibly can. And as I say, watering down the glue actually does help that. But we want to use up whatever glue we've got. This is the last panel we'll be doing today. On the side of the building it takes 17 or so panels, the top ones need to be cut. So we've already got a production line here to do 4 at a time. Make sure we've got an even coating, and then we'll do the sand. And if there is any gaps, you can always touch it up at the end, but you want to give it an even coating where you can. Okay, any glue in there, just use up the rest of it. Yeah. Okay, so how do we put the sand on? Colander. I find that's the most effective way of doing it. And what you want to do is have an even coating and use using the colander, you have very little waste, which is obviously sand costs money, you don't want to be wasting any. If you put it on top of some surface, for example the cardboard, you can always collect any spare at the end. You don't want to waste any if you can avoid it. There's a bit of a gap there. So you want as even as possible. The colander is very effective for that. And then there, so that's a good covering. And then what we're going to do is we're going to leave that to dry for 15 minutes. And then we'll stack them, and then we'll leave them for 24 hours before we put them onto the building. So thanks for watching part 1. Please like and subscribe, and then in part 2 we'll show how to mechanically fix them to the building. Thanks for watching so far. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.